Hello, I'm Incarnate, bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Today is the 5th part of my Project Zomboid hardcore survival series, set in the town of Drayton, and we have had some pretty good success in our last episode. We grabbed a lot of non-perishable food, and we've also got our hands on an auger, which will allow us to dig a mine, and the auger is one of the key tools added by the Hydrocraft mod. And once we get a mine going, we'll be able to start smelting ores and creating our own custom weapons, swords, axes, all sorts of really cool stuff that'll help us survive, as well as some tools as well. But before we even consider that, we need to deal with the more immediate problem of the large horde that's hanging around outside. Now, another thing we got in our last episode was a lot of these water containers, so I'm going to quickly fill some of these up. I'm not going to have time to fill up everything because we've actually got quite a big horde that's milling around at the front. The longer that I leave them, the worse that the horde's going to get, the bigger they're going to get, and eventually they may actually get in here and could make my day pretty bad. So let's start filling these containers up. And what we're doing, of course, is preparing for when the water goes out. The water will go out between 0 and 3 months. It can go out on your first day. And hopefully our luck isn't that bad. Our main problem is that we don't really have a lot of weapons. We've got plenty of guns, but not really many bullets for them. So I'm going to try and, hopefully today, start to fix that. I'm also going to eat some food because, as I said, I was in the last episode I was scratched by a Z, so I want to try and keep my healing as high as possible. And to do that, I'm going to try and keep myself in a well-fed status. There we go. So by eating that whole watermelon, I'm now very well fed, and that will give me a big boost to my healing. So that's a very important thing to have. So I'm going to continue filling up these containers. And again, I'm probably not going to have time to fill everything. I can hear those Zeds outside are getting pretty angry. So we'll, if we can get the 2 fish tanks full of water, I think that's going to be a really good start. I've got another one lying around here from the previous episode, but let's just fill up everything we can. There we go. And all of this will go into our new fridge, which will be our water fridge, our water container. We've got lots and lots of water. And we did find a stream nearby in our last episode. I've got to get outside, unfortunately. I need to deal with the zombie problem outside. It's now midday, and yeah, we've spent half the day just dealing with the fruits of our scavenging run in the last episode. Try and get rid of this guy. Okay, so it's not as bad as what I thought, but I imagine there'll be more of them down here. I think that there is actually a horde or a spawn point for them, and it is somewhere to the south of here, because they seem to be migrating here fairly regularly. Oh, that guy nearly got me. So once we get rid of these guys, hopefully we can start reading. And, oh, there we go, it's a mystery seed packet. We better take that and open it up. And there's an empty bottle. We can definitely fill that up with water. You never have too many containers. So it looks like we've got this vest we can put away as well. Give us a bit of space. Can try and get rid of these hordes down here. Because what will happen is, as soon as I go inside, of course, they'll wander up and they'll start banging away on my front door. Try and I don't want to fight the whole horde by myself, or at least in one big chunk, but I want to try and get rid of the ones that are just closest, the ones that potentially are going to cause me problems. I'm also aware I don't really have a lot of weapons at the moment, so I've got to be careful of picking fights that I can't win. At least not with weapons. The machete I've got has been doing really well so far, but it is going to break eventually. I can only hope that it'll last long enough for me to get rid of these guys. I do have a backup weapon, and I always carry more than one weapon at a time. And I recommend you do that as well. Never just run around with one weapon if you can avoid it, because weapons do have durability. So I'm going to back up a bit. It looks like there's another horde up here. I am getting somewhat wet, so we're going to head down here and try and go inside. And hope that the inside isn't... there we go. It looks like the rain's ceased. No, it hasn't. We might end up just getting a couple of them coming in at a time so I can deal with them that way. Yep. So the counter's creating a natural barricade for me, which is making it definitely easier to take care of these guys. It's starting to get a little bit hot in here. Try and back up a bit and take them out one at a time. There we go. So we're getting there. Alright. So it was a good move coming in here. One, that helped me to dry off from the rain. And two, we managed to break up the horde a little bit. Got some empty bottles and some food. That's really good. Always good to have any supplies in this game are a help. And it seems like we've still got quite a lot around here. So I'll try and lead them off. So I'll try the same approach again. There is a back exit to this place, so if things get really bad, I haven't painted myself into a corner per se. I should be able to take these guys out. This is a little bit dicey though. What we're going to use is we're using the shelves as a barricade. The Zeds aren't too smart, so they're just going to sit behind those shelves trying to get to me, and they're not going to be able to do it. And this lets us take them out one at a time. Whoa! Don't know where you came from. But luckily, these guys are patiently waiting behind the shelves for me to kill them, which is fantastic. So once we've gotten rid of those guys, we can go out and hopefully get the rest of them outside. So it's now a little bit after 2 in the day, and unfortunately we have wasted most of our day on taking these guys out. Whoops, that looks like a something important. No. Grab the bugs. And I think I mentioned this in the previous episodes, but always on zombies, you'll always forget to come back and grab stuff. So if you ever see anything that you may remotely want, If you're a good survivor like myself, you'll find the streets will soon be full of the dead, and you'll forget where things are. So you always try and prioritize grabbing things of interest off Zeds, because you'll probably forget to come back, and you'll forget which zombie is which. One thing and it's not added by the Hydrocraft mod, it's actually the base game, is that zombies now have a chance of dropping useful items. The useful items they used to be dropped were extremely limited, but now they will drop knives, they will drop empty bottles, they will drop food, they will drop electronics, they will drop the seeds sometimes. Now, I think seeds are actually added by the Hydrocraft mod, they don't drop them in the base game. But the moral of the story is that to always check zombies, because they'll often have stuff that's really useful. And that's pretty much what we've been doing. We're going to be trying to take these guys out and check their bodies for some useful stuff. Now, I think we've nearly gotten rid of them all. It's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we may have time to go and read our carpentry book. Come on. Very stubborn, this one. Okay, we've got some worms. Okay, now I'm sure there are more zombies, but I'm sure they're going to come back. And until we get some weapons, this is going to be a constant problem for us. So let's head back in. And I'm going to dump the rest of this stuff here. Our empty containers. Vitamins. And of course we've got quite a lot of guns here. So I'm going to just start dumping these things in here. Dump some of these clothes on the zombie corpse, because get as many of these weapons in here as possible. This has become my my gun compartment, where I'm placing all my guns and weapons. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a collection growing, but it's going to get bigger as we go. We've got ourselves a Glock and an Ithaca sawn-off shotgun, and of course our Chris. Chris is a submachine gun, and a very uncommon one as well. So looks like that's full. So we'll chuck that in our other container here. This will become our weapon container as well. Our razor. I think that's about it, but as you can see, I've still got quite a lot of stuff in my inventory, so we're going to empty that up first, and then we're going to go and read our book. And all the empty bottles we got off the zombies today are going to be filled with water. And I think I picked up some tin cans. I think we can fill those up as well, so we're going to do that. I think that's everything. Let's fill them all up. And we're going to empty bottles, more empty bottles, more empty bottles, and thank our zombie friends for that. All those empty bottles will be full of water and chucked in the fridge. And of course, yes, we can fill tin cans, so I'll have to make sure that I keep those tin cans. I've been skipping over them, but one of my subscribers did leave me a tip that you can fill tin cans with water. They are a water container, very similar to 7 Days to Die. And for those who haven't yet, make sure you check out my 7 Days to Die series as well. I'm doing some tutorials for that. There we go. Beautiful. So we've got lots and lots and lots of really cool stuff here. Matches. I think that's going to have to do, because otherwise we're just going to burn through all of our time here. So the good thing about all of this clay is that I'm going to be able to do a tutorial on making a kiln, because the clay is the primary ingredient for making a kiln, and we have clay in spades. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I have actually done a tutorial on using the kiln before, but it's a very old tutorial, and I did miss a few things. So we're going to hopefully do that in the next few weeks. We'll see. We'll see whether I can tear myself away from doing this series. Go. And we'll chuck our seeds upstairs. They're not too heavy. Chuck them in this box here. So I'm not too worried about seed packets at the moment. I want to worry about those later on. Radish seeds, strawberry seeds. And we'll chuck our screwdriver in here for the moment. And I think that's about it. Awesome. So the last thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to go get my carpentry book. And we're just going to check. It seems I've got a dirty bandage, so we better fix that. Okay. Looks like it's all good. Awesome. So we weren't infected by the virus. We will clean that bandage, though, in case I have to use it again. But we're, of course, going to be really careful, and I'm not going to get hurt. So the last thing I'm going to do today is just go outside, check that those Zeds aren't actually banging away on my front door. No. They're actually next door. Oop. Retardation on closing the door. They're actually in here. So we're going to get rid of these guys. You guys came just in time. To get killed by me. I think there's just one left. On that last Z that's banging away. Oh, where'd you come from? That could have ended really badly. Alright, so that's got rid of them. And we're going to go in here. Oh, we've got another empty bottle. There you are. Been wondering what's been banging away. There we go. Okay. So our last thing to do today is, of course, going to be to read our book. There we go. Safe to exit. We're going to head upstairs and we're going to read our book, and hopefully that should see us through the night. Have I got my carpentry book? Did I grab it? No, I didn't. Oh yeah, I do. I do have carpentry. So let's read that, and we're going to speed up time to make this a little bit easier. This is going to make us a little bit tired, but this book will allow us to begin in our next episode to cut down some trees, to make some planks, and when we cut down enough trees and we cut up enough planks, we'll be able to level up our carpentry skill. And we only need a carpentry skill of 1 to make some basic wooden stakes. And all that is basically we'll cut the planks down and we'll make those into shanks, which will be makeshift knives. And it's a very useful weapon to have. It's introduced by the Hydrocraft mod. So hopefully that will give us the ability to make some nice cheap weapons, and it is a really, really handy thing to have. And later on in the game we'll be able to make knives out of metal, and different types of metal, obviously, copper, and all the way up to eventually having iron. So we're nearly done there. And we're done. So what we'll do is we'll get some sleep, and in the next episode we will begin to start cutting down some trees and getting those logs and leveling up our carpentry skill to level 1. So after that I won't have to worry about getting some more weapons because we'll be able to make our own. And we're definitely going to need that, given that we have such a dangerous zombie population waiting outside. So if you enjoyed this episode, as always, please subscribe, and we'll catch you for the next episode. Skill Incarnate out.